Hey! Good evening, y'all. Welcome to another Thursday Night Live. Hopefully, you had a wonderful week. If not, TJ and Vibes can turn around. And hey, while you're thinking about it and you're praying, pray for Mariah, one of our special co-hosts, a normal live stream Thursday night. She's not able to make it tonight, so think about it. You know, a word of prayer for her for speedy recovery. And thanks. Hey, I usually forget this, but those watching replay, thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoy this kind of content. I know some of y'all just watch it because of who I am, which okay, that's cool. But I hopefully you learn more than just because of who the content creator is. You get what I'm saying? Watch it because there's good content, not because of who I am. Anyways, aside from that, welcome everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and put the topic in. And by the way, welcome in, Todd.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back here. Unfortunately, we're one team member down, but I know that Mariah will be back in action soon.
Yeah.
I see Steven asked if this is live, and yes, we are back with you live this week after
Yeah.
1 week of a taped show. So we
Yeah.
are back here as usual.
Right. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Um, what I've heard, the feedback, y'all really enjoyed it. I was kind of surprised, um, since it was taped. Now that is not going to be a normal thing, y'all. It's only for backup purposes. Hey, and if you're quick side note, if you're a content creator that does live streams regularly, and some reason emergency comes up, something, or maybe a family event is going to be happening that same day, evening that you go live. Hey, instead of just skipping it, how about either upload a video or do a pre-recorded live stream like we did last week. Now, I'm not saying that should be a normal thing, because for me, when I'm watching a live stream, I like to watch it not only because they're live, but you get an instant answer, or you get, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Anyways, let's go ahead and put a topic on for this evening.
Yeah, and
How do you know?
Steven had asked if all is okay with Mariah. I hope nothing serious. And we don't exactly know. We know she's under the weather, but she has been communicating with Vibes and I throughout the day. So she
Mhm.
certainly is, just wasn't well enough and didn't feel like she was going to be home from the doctors in time to join us. So it seems like it's not serious, but it was enough for her to say, hey, I should probably take the week off, which we certainly understand.
Yeah. But before I forget anything else, there's something that I forgot. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry to my local fish store. Um, that is not my plan at all. But, anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and do it. There's an event coming up this Saturday. Stephen Kong, I probably said it wrong, but it's going to be a Nature Aquarium Workshop, April 13th, 2024, at my local fish store. And for those that don't know it, the fish store I'm talking about, local one, is my favorite. And y'all seen some live streams there, some videos. Actually, a lot of videos, a lot of shorts from that store. That store is amazing. So if you're in the area in Texas, Tiny Aquatics in Round Rock, Texas, in my opinion, the best fish store that I've been to yet in Texas. Okay, I take it back. Local, within an hour radius of me. Now, there's ones in Houston that I definitely recommend, but I'm talking about local. Anyways, there's gonna be an aquascape uh, demo, I guess, Nature Aquarium Workshop. So I'm kind of excited for it. If you're in the area and if you have a chance, swing on by. Maybe plan your day to be there for the whole day, and watch it. And what I've seen, this Steven, he's really good at it. So I'm kind of excited to see what aquascape he's going to do on Saturday. Anyway, I want to do my part and share out, especially help out my local fish store. So, anyways, if you got questions about it, you can message me, email me. Um, you can see my emails at the bottom of the stream, the live stream, runningfj@gmail.com, or message me on Instagram. If you got my number, text me, call me, etc. Now, don't call me late at night, please. That's, anyways, yeah.
Vibes needs his beauty rest.
Exactly. So hopefully I'll get to see some of y'all there on Saturday. And I did ask the owner of the fish store if it's going to be live streamed. He said he wasn't sure, so it depends on how I feel, and I think I might just do a live stream, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, let's go ahead. And hey, for those that haven't heard, Fishham.link, it's a community of fish keepers like you and me. Now, this would be a little more illustrated for the FishTube community. Those that do live streams, do content regularly. Come on, it's loading. Sorry, y'all.
And Vibes did want to just tell you that before we even started, Jesse, Salian Aquatics, gave you a $4.99 super chat. Said Vibes, you're late, which was accurate information.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Jesse. Hopefully, yeah. Tonight is all me tonight. While I was late. I mean, sort of. Yes and no. I was at work late. I got off work a quarter after 6, which I find good, especially if I'm going to have to go live in 3/4 hour, and I still have to drive home yet. So, anyways, let's go ahead and say who's all participant according to the Fish on link. Shady Grady, Geek Boy, Silent Aquatics, Boots and Cats, Bumpy Dog, Eugene, Empire Dirt Aquatics, Curl Works, Linda Worth, Nancy B, Outside Aquatics, Fathom Aquatics, Sonny G, Stephen P, Scotty the Fish Freak, L Fish Tanks, Sweet Acres Koi Farm, Animal Instincts, Adam 7, MS Aquascaping, and Fish on Link. Welcome, everyone. And if I missed you, I'm sorry, that was not my plan, but that's what Fish on Link pulled up. So,
yeah, it shows roughly 29 or 30 folks with us here right now. So, another great crowd for Thursday night.
The waiting to see what TJ is going to bring to us tonight.
Oh, luckily, I have one of my lists.
Nice. And actually, I don't have a list tonight. I ran out of time, but I did do a replay of this on a video, which I'm not going to share with y'all. But so the thoughts have been running through my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's questions, y'all, ask away now. I'm sorry if I missed it earlier, but hey, Dennis Christian, welcome in. I don't want to go back to the whole chat trying to find your questions. So
we got Linda Worth also joined us.
Hey, Linda. Okay. How do you know if your tank residents are thriving?
Yeah, another good question that I think was kind of created from our usual chats throughout the week, right? So for everybody watching at home, that's kind of how we think about these things. We try and think about either things that we've got currently going on or interesting questions that come up through conversation, and this was one of them that we talked about earlier this week, and felt it might be something good to sort of kick around the topic. And I kind of broke this out a couple of different ways. I broke out the things that I personally would look for, and then I kind of put a little list at the bottom of the page here around how do I try ensure that happens? How do I try ensure that that they thrive. Vibes, you still with us? Just you're
Can you hear
frozen.
me?
Yeah, I hear you
I'm
just
still
fine.
okay. I'm gonna have to. I'm still here. I'm gonna take my camera off and retry.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, so that's kind of the way I thought about this, is just trying to think about what are the things that I would look for when I would say that fish are truly thriving, and then how might I go about trying to ensure that that happens. And so, when I think about that list, yeah, you're back moving, so your camera's back
Nice,
to moving.
awesome. Sorry, y'all. That was weird. I didn't even notice it until someone in the chat, Empire Derek Quacks mentioned it. I didn't notice it. Sorry, y'all.
And Foxy joined us. Hi, Foxy. Thanks for coming over.
Welcome, Foxy. And I do gotta shout out. You know, he deserves an on screen.
Yeah,
If you super
absolutely.
chat, you deserve to be. But your comment needs to be on stream. I mean, you pay to have it up there. So, thank you, Jesse. Anywho, back to go ahead, TJ. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah, so I just kind of put down here, I think I got about 7 different things that I would, in my mind, are the things that I would say really do help you understand that you've got fish that are thriving. And the first one, it sounds pretty easy, but I'm going to break it down a little bit. No signs of illness or kind of random deaths. I think that's kind of one of the first big things. And
Mm-hmm.
it sounds extremely obvious, but for those that maybe are less experienced fish keepers, maybe some
Right.
of them are with us in chat. I think most of the folks here, though, have been around the hobby for a while, so it's probably not as applicable. But even people watching the replay, knowing what the signs of some illnesses are is really very, very important. It's difficult to sometimes be able to diagnose it, but I'd recommend you all take some time. The fact that now we're in an age where information is readily available on the internet. You've got resources like YouTube and other different types of forums where people can go and ask questions and familiarize yourself with some of those major signs of illness, because that's often your best indication is to be able
Mm-hmm.
to lay eyes on your fish and to be able to see, if they have white bumps, right? Is that something
Yeah.
like ick? Is it epistylus? Can you tell
Mm-hmm.
the difference between those two things? And I think yes, with some research and a little bit of practice, you certainly could, and then you'll be able to figure out what a potential course of treatment might be. So I think it's really important just to have that base level of knowledge and to be able to understand what kind of the most common types of health conditions our fish could be subject to are out there.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Um, that was also on my list. Um, and there are signs that it will tell you, is the fish hanging out at the top more than it normally is, or
Hmm.
is it hiding a lot more? Is it it's some cichlids? It's draping down, uh, vertical instead of horizontal, more than
Or
normal. But
the other one that I thought of, Vibes, is hanging out by the filter, or not the filter, the heater.
yeah, or is it doing a death roll?
Sure.
Those are signs that something's wrong. Um, and you probably need to do something about it before it's too late.
Hmm.
Now, if you do see the death row, it's on the verge of almost too late, y'all. Now, I have brought fish back from that. Um, you know what? That's a great topic. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna put hey, it's quick note, y'all. If you're doing a live stream and you think of a great topic, write it down.
When genius strikes, you need to capitalize on that opportunity, right?
Yes.
So Riva says Dr. Gerald Basselier and Dr. Jesse. Oop, it moved on me here. Jesse Saunders both have good informative YouTube channels in regard to fish disease and identification from reputable fish veterinarians. That's a great. Thank you for posting that, Riva. Those are good things to check out. Again, if you're someone who's sitting here saying, I really haven't dealt with that much fish disease, or I'm newer to the hobby and I really just don't know, take the recommendation there from Riva and go check those out. And you maybe be able to watch a couple of videos and just get yourself just that little bit more educated. And I think that's really the first step in my mind is making
Right.
sure that when things go wrong and the fish aren't really thriving, that you're able to rebound from it, or at least attempt to rebound from it, because that can
Right.
be a really, in some ways, a paralyzing experience. If you don't know what's happening, you don't have any idea how to handle it, and then left untreated, fish start to die. It's just that's a tough place to be in as a fish keeper. And so I think it's important to take the time now, while hopefully you're not dealing with major health issues with your fish, so that the time that it unfortunately strikes, that you're ready to go.
I'm sorry, y'all. I got a little sidetracked. I'm actually kind of excited. You know what? I'm going to share with you right now. My Molly's over here, this tank.
Yeah.
We got good news. I see babies.
Really?
Yes. It's only been, was it a week since I put them up by themselves?
Yes.
And there's probably like 50 babies in there swimming around.
Did you say 50?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yes.
And these are wild caught in
Mhm.
Texas
Yeah.
sailfin mollies.
Yep. I'm so
Nice.
excited.
I know. I think I know somebody
Yeah.
else who's going to be excited.
Who would that be?
I think Curtis might be a little bit excited.
Yeah.
Our
So
buddy
now
Skull.
I need I need to grow them out, and I need to either ship them to him. Maybe if he's attending Aquashella, maybe I'll just pick him along with me, giving him there.
Mm-hmm.
This is exciting.
Our friend Rachel, Boots and Cats, says she wants some.
Nice. So, hey, whenever that happens, share it out. That's good news, y'all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting it to be that fast.
No. That's because it was just like a week or two ago that you moved them. So.
I'm wondering if that's all it took. They were stressed out, or the other residents were eating the babies.
Probably.
Yeah. So
Probably. Mike B just joined us, as did Nona, and I don't know if you had welcomed in Linky before. I had saw a message from Linky, but I see another one here, so just kind of brought it to my attention.
Yeah, welcome in, Nona. Sorry, and welcome in, Stephen White. Hashtag Mark. Welcome in, DD. Sorry, I'm way behind the chat. I'm quick try to catch up. So those mollies definitely have to be another topic. Sorry.
Yep.
Or
cool.
A video, whatever.
But that's exciting news. That's cool, man.
Yeah. Okay.
So the next thing I had on the list, are you good with the first one?
Yeah.
Anything else about signs of illness or deaths?
You had mentioned fish hanging out by the heater.
Yep.
Or if a fish is no longer swimming against the current in your tank, it tends to be pushed up against the glass on the other side.
Sure.
Or kind of instead of swimming around, it's more like floating around.
Mm-hmm.
Something's wrong.
Yep.
That's not a good sign.
Yep. You kind of you gave me a great segue into my second one.
Go ahead.
Normal activity level. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that is one where, again, trying to make this for sort of all audiences, that is normal activity level for that type of fish. So a zebra pleco, it's not going to have the same level of activity as a zebra danio, for instance.
True. Wow. That's
right.
A big night and day.
That's two zebras that have nothing to do with one another.
Right.
And so what we want to do is you want to make sure that the zebra danio is doing what zebra danios do and swimming all over the tank. The
Right.
zebra pleco, we don't expect them to be doing that. They're going to be kind of stationary doing their thing, but you want to just look for signs of either A, they're not acting in the way that you would expect for that species, or B, if you have had those fish for a long period of time, you know what that particular group of fish's activity level is. If it deviates from there, they seem a little listless, or they seem like they're low energy. That's another thing where you can say there's really something going on here, and they're not at their best, and is something that you need to pay attention to. And I'd kind of refer you at that point back to point number one that we made around, do you see any of those signs of illnesses?
Mhm.
Nancy says hashtag not all zebras are the same. I
I
love it.
saw that. I
I
agree.
love it. Yeah.
Now, here's the funny note. What if we could breed zebra daniels with zebra plecos? Would we get a pleco that was fast moving, or a daniel that was slow, hang out the bottom a lot?
Um, I
Could- you, you,
I
you think that'd be a seller? A zebra pleco that would be all over the place?
I don't know about that, man. That seems
Wouldn't
like,
it
listen, that's way past like even glowfish.
be right?
Like
Hey, Dirty
that's
Tank.
what's that?
I just
Oh,
read welcome in Dirty Tank 13. Welcome.
got it.
Yeah. Hmm.
So yes, I mean, I think that's the thing on that is just that making sure that they have that normal activity level for what you'd
Right.
expect for the fish, and I think it's really important to pay attention to that.
Hey, Jenna P. Would you say that in regards to zebra fish, everything isn't just black and white?
I would, in fact, I think there's some silver, some gold, a little bit of blue, maybe some
That's
green
pretty
on
good.
occasion. I would
Good
agree.
color, normal behavior, no clap fins. What I usually look for.
Well,
Yes.
Nancy stole my third one, coloration.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Nancy.
Yep.
You're on the road
I
tonight.
yeah, I think that's a big one. Is I always look to see, is there anything off, because a fish that is down in color, there's a reason for it. There's something's going on. It could be that they're being picked on. It could be that they're ill. All sorts of different reasons. They're stressed
Mm-hmm.
out about something, and they're trying to either blend in, or no, Nancy, don't apologize. We're thinking alike tonight, it seems. So that's okay. So yeah, so I think paying attention to things like the coloration,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big deal, right? When you look at your Bosemani rainbows behind you, if the one that you see right there in the middle of the tank all of a
Yeah.
sudden starts to get silver, something's kind of goofy, right? Something's going on.
Yes. Actually, that freaked me out. Cause that's the boss in the tank right now.
Yeah, right. So if something's going on, yeah, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Hey, welcome in, Ross.
Hey,
Hey,
Ross.
had to wait 20 minutes to chat. Something been looking. Hey, Ross. Hey, quick side note for those that have wondered or have thought why 20 minutes to wait to chat after subbing. The reason I do it, hey, it removes like 99.99% of all trolls out there.
Hmm.
And I don't want to. Hey, I got great moderators, the best on YouTube, but I don't want to overload it with more work. You get what I'm saying? So it just helps remove keep the chat clean. Anyways, Jesse had a comment. Maybe own to a secret hidden which is blue for some fish illness like bloat, dropsy works every time. 5-gallon bucket, Epsom salt, stress guard, water cam, soap for 30 to 45 minutes daily.
Well, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Soak for 30 to 45 minutes daily. Jesse, do you have a video on that the mods could link? Because that's really interesting, and I think
Yeah.
people might be interested. If not, consider making a video like that.
Yeah, there you go, Jesse. That'd be awesome. Yeah, everyone Go double check this new channel just showed up. Ross Baltimore. Go check out. You subscribe to him. And moderators, you don't mind putting his link in the chat for me?
Mm-hmm.
Go
Ross
ahead.
Ross was on Skipper's channel, and I was one of the co-hosts for that a few months back, maybe January or something like that. Great a breeder of all sorts of different fish. He's got some different cichlids and bunas, I think some peacocks, had all kinds of different tetras and rasboras and some angels that I think he was working on. So I'd expect to see him probably being part of the upcoming Fish Fam auctions.
Yeah.
I think he'll be putting some stuff up for auction there. A really great looking fish. I think last year was the first year that I remember seeing him in one of those auctions. So it's good that he's stuck around with the community.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what he brings.
Me too. Me too. And then
Is that the link?
Not.
Yeah, it is.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's the link, y'all. To Ross
Awesome.
Baltimore.
Great.
Go share the love, y'all.
Thanks, Empire.
Yep. Thank you.
And then the next thing that I had on my list, Riva actually started to come up with some of those things. Riva said missing scales, take a look at the condition of the lateral line, gill redness. And so the fourth thing that was on my list is overall condition.
Okay.
Right? The overall condition of like the body of the fish. Things like missing scales, eye issues, the fins. Does their fraying of the fins? Do they look ripped? Do they look like they've been bitten? Could be redness of the scales. Any of those kinds of things. Do they have an enlarged abdomen? Do they have a shrunken abdomen? All of those I think are incredibly important things. And I really liked Stephen White's comment here. Do your research and know what normal behavior for that species is. That's exactly what we were talking about, right? Know the difference of what your type of fish is supposed to be from an activity level, so that you can really understand, hey, wait a second, something's wrong here, because their behavior totally changed. Known as lumps and bumps. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Discolorations, right? So if you see like red streaks, I think that can be a sign of what do they call it? It's is it hemorrhagic septicemia or something like that, I think is the name of it, where they show like a red streak. And I think it's like that they have like some sort of a bleeding maybe under the skin.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it's important just to know that overall condition.
Right. And that's why it's important to watch your fish or your species in the tank regularly. That way you know right away that something's up. Welcome in, Big J. And by the way, I was reading the chat about how taking care of different stuff, about salt bath, etc., botanical soak. Here's a quick side note. That was 2 weeks ago. My one Fantosa male, the blue Zare, and with the peacocks. Anyways, I came home that evening, and for some reason his one eye was cloudy. It was weird. I don't know what caused it, but so what I did, I did a water change. And I dosed the tank with the Quam salt API. If you don't know what that is, and within an hour after doing that, it cleared up, just like that. So now sometimes if you're too late catching it, you'll have to do more harsh treatments on the fish, or you take whatever tank residence. There you go. Doesn't look like the fish is damaged from another fish or from hardscape itching and hit stuff.
Yeah. I think again it goes back to the whole idea of, you raised a great point, which I think underscores kind of all of these things that we're talking about here. Is You got to put eyes on your fish.
Yes.
That's kind of the one thing that I do when I'm feeding the fish every night. I've only got what, 7 tanks, 6 tanks, something like that. So it's not a huge volume of tanks compared to what I think a lot of our friends have. So it's easy for me on a nightly basis when I'm feeding the fish to kind of walk around and check on everything. And so um and so that I think is really an important thing to do. Ravis says, I guess that's less are they thriving and more how you find the cause they aren't.
Mhm.
Yes, I agree with that. Because that's
Right.
the other side of it is we're all going to probably find ourselves in a situation at some point where we can confidently say, well, that tank of fish or a fish in that tank is not thriving at this moment. Let's That's at the time where we need to now figure out why. And
Mhm.
I think you're right that's it's kind of trying to do that diagnosis and figure out exactly what might be causing it so that you can
Right.
change that and to
Hey,
try and make
boy.
it better and get them back to that spot.
Googly eyes on my fish. Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry, y'all. Um, I am really sidetracked right now. That's the first time I'm seeing it. This is my dominant male Molly.
Yep.
The colors are popping. I mean, he has a bright blue outline. I
Hmm.
mean, it's kind of weird.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, there's like probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 females. The biggest one's definitely holding, but his colors and his fins are just popped out, and they're very sharp in color.
Nice.
I never seen like it even. I mean,
That's
in
cool.
my tanks like this.
That's cool. And the
Yeah.
baby fish never gets old seeing baby fish.
No, I don't.
I
So
went and fed the multi-tank tonight,
no way. What
and
would you do?
there are so I've got 8 adults. 2 of those are babies
Mm-hmm.
from prior, and then I've got a group of 5 babies that are on like if I'm looking at the tank, they're on the right hand side, and they're all an eighth, maybe a quarter of an inch, so still
Mm-hmm.
fairly small, but they're not new.
Right.
And they're out whenever I go to feed. They're swimming all over the place, eating, little bits of the food. On the left-hand side of the tank, I've got much newer. Yep, that's right. On that side of the tank,
Right.
I've got much newer babies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, there's probably closer to 10 over there. And they're growing so fast. That's the interesting part about the mollies or the multis is
Mm-hmm.
for such small fish, they grow really quick,
Yes, they do.
right? They
Um,
grow real fast.
yeah. Right now I got two batches of babies I know of right now in the Maltese.
Yeah, you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Mine took they'll be 4 years old, the adults, the first ones that I
Mm-hmm.
got, roughly 4 years old in the fall.
Right.
And it's taken them all this time to get to a place where the babies have been surviving. So it took a really, really long time, but now it's like I got them all over the tank. It's great. It's really fun. It's neat to see.
Hey, you know what? I kind of forgot about this, but I think let's do something special.
Mhm.
Since Stephen P is the initiator, person behind uh, this special thing, let's go ahead and do it. We got a package here, y'all. And
Cool.
hey, hashtag fast shipping. I'll tell you that much.
Let's do
Uh,
that, and then after we're done, I want to address Riva's got a great question
yeah,
about Tanganyikan and cichlids, but you keep doing what you're doing, and I'll just keep track of his question.
I actually started, so we can catch it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead and box. Let's just tear it open. Oh, wee! I'm excited. No way! Sorry, I was not expecting that. Aww. Hey, this is what I saw when I opened the package.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh man.
That's gonna go in my keepers.
Yep.
That's perfect. Wow. Sorry. I was not trying to get emotional opening a package like this. But yeah. Anyway, thanks, Steven, for that. And we got Jenna P.
Oh, a Jenna sticker even. How
Yeah.
cool.
A Jenna sticker. We got some more in here, y'all. Stephen P.
Steven sticker,
And
nice.
by the way, y'all, go double check your subscribe to Stephen P, Jenna P, Mrs.
Nope.
Margaria,
Nice. Yep.
Nat.
Eric.
Hey, Steven, you're awesome.
Oh, and in fact,
No way.
that's
That's cool.
the shirt of the week.
That is so cool. Anybody can have a metal sticker. Just email me.
Just, okay.
Awesome, Steven.
Super.
Yeah. Well, sorry, y'all. That emotion hit me strong when I saw it. Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely understandable.
Anyways, Guppy.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Was that last week?
yeah.
It
That
was
was some
last week.
fast shipping.
It was.
It came in. Was it Monday?
Really?
The came in. Yeah.
Wow.
You know what, yo? Without further ado, sorry, I make it a little wet.
Do you have a practice of licking your guppies vibes that I need to know about here?
Well, that'd be telling. I mean,
Listen, who am I to judge
right.
a buddy? But I believe that's what I just saw happen, and it just makes me wonder if this is like a one-time incident or if we've got to have an intervention here or something.
Hey, if you want to find out,
Yeah.
message me later, or maybe you might get some behind the scenes. Remember the thing.
Oh boy.
Anyways, hey, Steven and Jenna and Annette and Eric and Myrtle, all of y'all, thank you so much. Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's kind of weird in a way. It's upside down.
Well, that was the whole thing, right? That they realized when they were giving it away that the suction
Right.
cup was on the top of its head.
Uh-huh. So this one's special.
Yeah, it makes it unique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Back to that question, the comment.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, beautiful. Because I have answers. I don't know if you do.
Go ahead. It's him.
Yeah. So I think there's two things that I would think about for a 60-gallon to use kind of that top kind of third of the aquarium, which your Shelleys, they'll go there, but usually it's only number one if there's not enough shells, right? So some of them will kind of tend to gravitate a little bit higher up in the water column, or certainly at feeding time, they'll come up higher. But other than that, you're right, they're sticking to the bottom. So I'm going to say I would do Cyprochromis. I think those are they often call them the sardine cichlid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they would be a good in a 60-gallon aquarium, which I think is what the same basic dimensions, a little bit different than what between like a 55 and a 75. So still 4 feet. I think that would be enough for one of the. I'd probably go with the smaller Cyprochromis, so like Cyprochromis leptosoma. They're a very pretty fish. The males, gorgeous colors. And you can get a nice group, and they'll be very active, kind of swimming back and forth. I think the other thing that I would consider they're tough in shipping, and you hear that from people like Dan from Dan's Fish. He talks about it where the Tanganyika and killifish sometimes
Mhm.
are tough to get in shipping, but that's another fish that is super beautiful. They'll hang out at that top level. They give you lots of movement. I think the thing just to know about that, Rival, my experience has been when you combine species in a case like that, your survival of your multi-fry may be impacted to some degree because
But
the Tanganyikan killifish and the Cyprochromis are fast fish, much bigger than the multi, so their mouths are decent enough size. It'll be easy for them to snack on the multis. If you're just going for a community type of setup, like a Tanganyikan community, I see no issues with that at all. In a 60, you might also be able to get away with vibes. I'd love your feedback on this, but you might also be able to get away with having your multis kind of on one side of the tank. You can have like your Cyprochromis or your Tanganyikan killies up top, and then you could maybe do like a rock dwelling species, like one of the smaller Julitochromis. You could do
mhm,
Paracyprochromis, the ones that I've got, I had them with my multis initially. They got along fine. Um, yeah, I think some of that could also be an option in a tank like that. What's your
mhm.
thoughts, Vibes?
I agree. I never really thought about it per se. I mean, I've seen it done. But it's the babies from the Maltese probably you'll probably see not as many.
Yep.
Now, of course, if you give them enough hiding places, it's going to still hinder it. Less if you keep your fish fed very well and give them a lot of hiding places. But other than that, which that kind of get my brain rolling, bro. I never really lingered on that too long because that means I have to have another pick setup. Um, that'd be cool though. I got the fish. I just need to put it together now.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be an interesting tank?
How about some Bishardies in there? Or would that be too much?
No, because they're a rock dwelling species, right? So if
Right.
you set them up with like a pile of rocks on one end, the
Yeah.
multis on the other, because the Cyprochromis, they really don't. They kind of just they keep to themselves at the top. They kind of chase each other a little bit in a group. The Tanganyikan killies are kind of going to be the same. So they're not really interested in rocks and all that other kind of stuff. It doesn't really seem like typically.
Right.
So I think if you set that up that way, you could probably get away with that just fine. Again, you'd want to make sure that there is enough territory for them because they are
Right.
cichlids, but um, like a lot of like your smaller Julitochromis and your Maltese,
Right.
they kind of talk more of a good game than they are actually aggressive, right?
Yeah.
I don't see them like actually having combat even with each other.
Right.
They kind of they sort of try to fake each other out is what I typically see. Like the male Maltese will like display to each other and they have this thing where they flare their
Right.
gills. Nothing ever comes of it. It's like they decide, no, you're not worth my time, and then they just kind of go about their business. So it never ends up being anything really big. I think I've seen them do some lip locks way back when they were young fish. As adults, they could care less.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now,
I
for those that did have questions about that, I do have some rocks in with my Shelleys, the Maltese,
mhm.
and babies do hide in the rocks.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you had two different pieces in the tank, will the babies still want to hide in the rocks? Probably.
And I like it for sight breaks.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
they do, like I said, they don't do any damage to one another, but they do get in moods. And that kind of it breaks up the territories a little bit. So I think it's an okay thing to do.
Nice, Nancy. I like it.
Oh yeah. Ah, that's nice.
Dee has some behind fish scenes. Yeah. Uh, If your fish is upside down, it may not be thriving. Good point. Good point. That was not to be, by the way.
Except, fun fact, my Paracyprochromas do swim upside down.
Yes.
Every once in a while. Every once in a while, I will come in and I will see them, and they'll be upside down, and it takes you a minute to kind of like adjust yourself and be like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And like, no, they're just kind of floating there.
Oops.
Oh, and Melvin joined us, and
Hey,
HD
Melvin, welcome.
Canteen.
HD Canteen, welcome in, bro. And for those who don't know, hey, you gotta shout out your Ken out. This is my real brother, y'all. My blood brother. Welcome in, bro. Good to see you.
And Riva, you're welcome. The Tanganyikan fish is one of my favorites. Just in general, I love the fish from Lake Tanganyika, so I'm happy to provide thoughts since I've kept a few over the years.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go back to the topic. How about that?
Let's do that.
We kind of left it in the background, huh?
Yeah, that's okay. We're having fun doing other stuff. So I still got my list here.
All right.
Next thing on my list. Did you have one you want to cover?
Now go ahead.
No? Growth rate and overall size.
I like it.
I think it is really important to pay attention to, and again, I think the message here is research. You've got to know what you're supposed to be looking at. And so I think growth rate and overall size. So if your fish aren't growing, or if they're kind of size at adulthood, they're an Oscar and they stop growing at 4 inches, we've got a problem.
Yeah.
We've got a problem. And so I think it's really important, if we are trying to make sure that our fish are truly, truly thriving in the conditions and the environment that we give them, they should have a normal growth rate. They
Right.
should end up having a normal overall size when they stop growing. They should make sure that we should make sure that they're average for what their fish happens to be. You are always going to get into a situation where they'll vary a little bit and you may get kind of a runt of the group. It does happen, but in general, we need to make sure that we're providing the environment that's going to allow them to grow appropriately. We're providing them the right food that's going to give them the energy that they need to grow, and ensuring that as they go through all of their different stages of sort of the growth process, from tiny little heads with a thin tail coming off the back to actually becoming real, like they look like a fish, that
Mm-hmm.
we're doing those things to make sure that they're able to maximize that growth opportunity.
Right. Now, and then you have to figure out what's causing the growth weight.
Like
Is
if
it
they're not meeting expectations,
right?
yeah.
Maybe the tank itself, the environment
hmm
is too bad. Maybe it's not balanced properly.
You could be having issues where the water quality is not where it needs to be. You
Right.
could be having issues where you're you're not providing them the food that they need at a particular stage of
Mhm.
life. I think I find that to be incredibly important with really small fish. So the very small, like egg scattering fish where the babies are super, super small, if you're
Right.
not providing them in those early days the food that's small enough for them to fit in their mouths, you're not going to have the success, and they're going to be much older and trying to catch up. And I think the rate of survival is going to be impacted. So there's going to be all of these signs that you really need to pay attention to make sure that you're really giving them the best opportunity to continue to develop. I think it also goes to tank size, right, Vibes? I think
Mhm.
that is a super, super important thing to pay attention to, is that, if a fish is going to be getting to a certain size, it could be one of two things. I mean, it could be many things, but the two things
Yeah.
that kind of come to my mind are not overcrowding. So maybe you've got small fish like cherry barbs, but you put 100 of them in a 10-gallon tank. That's probably going to be an issue, right? That's probably
Yeah,
going to be too much
slightly.
density. At the same time, having that Oscar that we talked about and keeping it in, a 5-gallon aquarium, yeah, that may work when it's a tiny, tiny little baby, but you have got to be prepared for the fact that that fish is supposed to get a foot plus in length.
Mhm.
And you've got to make sure that as they continue to grow, that you're moving them to those bigger types of tanks so that they have the ability to kind of spread out and grow. And I think it also goes back to your comment around water quality. They're a big fish. They are messy, lots of waste, and having the tank that's the right size is going to help you keep that water quality.
Yes. Hey, welcome to Orlando. Good to see you. Um,
Hey, Lando. Let's see. We had another question come in from Eugene. He said he's never asked. He's asked you. He wants to know what my favorite tropical aquarium fish is.
oh, there.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, and I think we've talked about this before, but for me, it's really the Maltese.
Hmm.
I ever since I was a little boy, 10, 11 years old, and I started keeping Tanganyikan fish, and it wasn't Maltese at that time. It was Neolamprologus brevis. I had a
Mm-hmm.
couple pairs of those. I raised a good number of babies at that time. I loved the shell dwellers, and getting back into the hobby. One of the first tanks that I set up was a Tanganyikan tank, and I got Maltese, and I just love them because they take everything that I liked about the brevis and they ramp it up a couple of notches. They build that really strong community bond. They do a lot of the redecorating of the aquarium to kind of fit what they're looking for, and I really really like them. So I think those are hands down my favorites.
I'm not gonna lie, but these mollies are slowly becoming more and more some of my favorites.
Yeah.
Not only because this is like this is the wild stuff. This is the real stuff, y'all. Ah. If you asked me 2 years ago, I would say you're crazy. I'll never have a local fish in my aquarium. Well,
Hmm. Now you do.
I do, and I'm loving it. I'm
That's
watching
awesome.
all stages of life. You know, it's kind of cool.
It's super exciting. I wanted to address Riva put comments in here that the belief is he believes that live foods are really important, and I think that's right. I think also the other thing that's important for some fish, and I think it varies a little bit by species, but like biofilms,
Yes.
right? Some fish need those natural types of occurring foods to jumpstart things. I think I'm a fan of TM Aquatics.
Yeah.
Tom, he is a Pleco and Corydoras breeder,
Hmm.
and I really like listening to him and what he ends up using to feed. And a lot of times he'll put like a catappa leaf in with his baby plecos, and so they can go and kind of gnaw on that stuff. And he's talked about, I think, where he believes that it has something to do with kind of jump starting their systems. Yeah, Riva says specific biofilm sometimes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And Sunny G says Mulm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Welcome in, Daniel. Yeah.
yeah. Hey, Daniel.
Yeah. Quick side note: I have noticed that some of the tanks that have a heavy mom, or are the ones that the babies, everything just thriving. It's kind of weird. I mean,
Hmm.
not I guess not really, because that's more to the original. That's nature.
Yep.
Most of some of our tanks that are what um, competitive grade tanks, well, they don't have that. You know, the mom,
Hmm.
the biofilms. You know,
Yep.
they don't have that because we want to try to keep them pristine. So, and we're
Mm-hmm.
removing what the babies need to thrive.
Yeah. And I think that's a constant battle, right? We all want our tanks to look beautiful and to be pleasing and all of those kinds of things. But there's a point where you get too far. And
Right.
so finding that careful balance where some of those things, yeah, Nancy's right, so many cool little critters in Mom.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, the
It's an
tiny little like
ecosystem.
water fleas and stuff.
Yes.
Hmm. I think that's right.
Um, there's a 20-gallon long behind the camera, and
Hmm.
that's been running now. Was it 2 years? Um, there ain't much in that really. I mean, for species wise, there is
Hmm.
sea shrimp and some other critters, but there's a good layer of mom in that tank, and it is planted really heavy planted tank.
Hmm.
The pothos, that ivy plant that people say doesn't thrive underwater.
Hmm.
Well, this tank has proven them wrong. But
Do you have
yeah,
it planted in the aquarium?
yes, this pothos, it's the length of the tank. It's going. It doesn't stop.
Fully submerged.
Yes,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
I
people leave the
but,
roots in the water, right?
right, yeah, but uh, that was the visual plan. But it didn't stop there.
Okay.
It just the leaves opening up underwater, and it's like wow.
Oh, that's cool, man.
There's a handful that's sticking up above the water surface. I got
Hmm.
about 3 inches from the top of the tank.
Sure.
The water down from the top of the tank. That
Hmm.
I got duckweed and some lettuce, water lettuce floating on top. But yeah, so
So, yeah, I think it goes back to the thing that we always say. There's so many ways to do this.
yes, which is
Yep.
kind of cool. This is I don't know if you all know it, but this is kind of highlights of the week. Hang out with y'all in the chat and my co-host. So fully submerged is my daughter's channel name. Huh?
Really?
Does she have content? Okay, no.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, because this make me interested since we're talking about it. Sorry, no, actually, I'm not sorry. Let's see.
I hope this is the right one. Is it a scuba diving channel, Nona? If so, I think I found it. Scuba diving entertainment and education. Neat.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Daniel Velez says his tank has 4 inches of gravel, about ½ inch of laterite mixed in. Only gravel vac a quarter of the tank every 6 months. The tank ran for 18 months. Being redone now, Malm important. Yep.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. So I think I found the right. I
Yeah.
think I found the right channel then. Awesome.
Hey, actually, go ahead and moderate us. Put it in the chat. Go ahead, throw it in the chat. I'm actually curious to go watch some of her content.
Hmm.
This is cool. Awesome.
Neat. Thanks for telling us.
Yeah, thanks for getting on. See, this. I wish we could have a little more. We call it have a live stream, but depend on the chat to bring us the topic. I guess you want to say it like that. There's so many things I don't know about y'all, but
Mm.
you know what I'm saying, TJ?
Yeah. Yeah, the little tidbits of information that we
Yeah.
learned, but I love the questions. Look at all
Right.
the territory we covered tonight,
Yes.
right? All sorts of different things.
Okay. Uh, Matt, you got any more for the topic? We're running out.
Nope, I got more.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I did a vibes size list tonight.
Ooh.
I turned
We
I
asked for
turned my
5, and he does like 8.
That's right. So I think I did like 7. So the next one I think
Go ahead.
is a no-brainer. Always hungry.
Yes.
I
Yes.
find fish that are hungry are typically doing well. It's the one thing that when they're ill, when they're feeling stressed, like a lot of us, they stop being hungry. And so if I see fish that are going through the aquarium, picking things, trying to find little bits of food, picking at algae, all sorts of different things, I tend to know that that means that they're doing well because they're constantly looking for something new to eat.
Yes. Um. Now that's not saying that if your tank is established, there should be microorganisms in the tank for your fish.
Hmm.
But yeah, that is a good sign if they're always hungry.
Yep.
Like for instance, hey, this is funny, but my koi at my koi pond, I'll feed them right,
Hmm.
and 5 minutes later, I walk past the pond. They come out, hey, feed us. Like, hey, I
Hmm.
just met y'all. You know, that's a
Yep.
good sign.
I have my planted community in the dining room, and the
Nice.
dining room is connected to the kitchen. And so I come in through the garage, go through kind of the laundry room into the kitchen, and then usually to go upstairs, I have to go through the dining room. And so every time I go through that dining room, all of those tetras and the angelfish and the platies that are in that aquarium, they become this big mass of fish and they end up at the top. And every time, and I could have just fed them and I end up walking through there to go upstairs for something, they're back at it again. This will happen as many times throughout the day as I walk through that room. That's what they do. And
Right.
so yeah, I like Riva's comment here. The only healthy, happy fish that isn't hungry is mouth brooding. Yes,
Yes.
that describes my Parasuperchromis perfectly right
Hmm.
now. So both of the females are holding eggs. I think it's been probably about a week, so 2 more weeks, and then they both will end up spitting out broods of new Parasuperchromis babies. So
Yeah.
I'm quickly becoming high on inventory of Parasuperchromis here. So I'm gonna end up having to take some to the fish club, which is good because around here people like Tanganyikans, but not that many people are keeping them. So
Right.
hopefully they'll find some good homes.
Yeah. Now I have seen some mouth breeders that do eat. I've
Hmm.
seen that. Like I watch her. I think she's holding. I'm gonna find out. So I feed the fish, and she goes ahead and eats anyway. Like, uh-huh, uh-huh. So
But it's
I don't
very
know how she's doing it.
it's interesting though, right? Don't they kind of like slurp the food up?
Kinda.
Right? Like the mouth doesn't fully open, but you do see
Right.
where they've like sucked it in
Uh-huh.
and they go like one little flake at a time.
Right. It's kind of weird.
Yep.
It's like trying to eat what do you think? Eat pizza with gum in your mouth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Or yeah.
And
Actually it is a
you know you aren't interested in swallowing that gum.
right.
Right? So it's like, how would I keep that separate?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
It's like you I'm thinking about the fish brain. I got all my eggs over here, in my mouth,
Yep.
and I'm eating flakes on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that takes some. That's a miracle, y'all.
Hmm.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Uh, I'm just reading the comments, y'all. Sorry.
Yep.
Glad
Ready
to-
for another one?
yeah, go ahead.
Lifespan.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Hilarious. Maybe not hilarious, but really ironic kind of story from just today. So my
Okay.
coworkers, I'm on a team of folks at work, and there's probably 5 or 7 of us that sit in the same office here in New Jersey.
Mhm.
And a couple of them are quite new to the team. So one is like month 1 and the other one's month 3. And so as we're getting to know each other, we're a great group that gets along very well, and we care quite a bit about each other, like on a personal level too. So we want to know about things going on in our personal lives, and they know that I keep fish. And every
Mhm.
once in a while, I'll share. We've got like a WhatsApp group, and I'll share a picture of like baby fish, or talk a little bit about something interesting. And today, the one lady that I work with that's been with us for a month, we were talking about it, and um, she's like, "Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I had goldfish," and I was like, "Oh yeah," I was like, "It's really interesting." I said that, and they can be somewhat challenging to keep, especially the way that we typically would keep goldfish in like a 1 gallon bowl, and then they only make it for a couple of years. And she was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And I was like, "Well, they live like decades."
Right.
And she kind of looked at me and she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "They live for decades, and if it's like just a common goldfish, like they're like this
Yes.
size type of fish." And she was like, "Well, I had them and they lived for like a couple of years. I thought that was pretty good for a fish." I said, "Well, for some fish it is, but
You right.
not them." And it kind of made her think. And I was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Probably the death of those, did they kind of impact your love of the hobby?" And she says, "Yeah, kinda." She said, "When they would die, I just couldn't take it anymore." And so
Right.
it really kind of made her think about, the fact that the conditions that they kept them in, which we all, or a lot of
Yeah.
us did that when we were little kids and our
Mhm.
parents didn't know any better. I've talked about that here.
Right.
uh, and but she was like, "Wow, that kind of makes me sad that we didn't know what to do." And I said, "Yeah." I was like,
Yeah.
"It's not that easy just throwing fish in a bowl and calling it good. There's a lot that goes into it."
Right.
Um, right. So it was interesting saying that to a person who today is not a fish keeper.
Right. I mean, also remember too, back in the day, we didn't have this information that we had today.
That's right.
Um, we did what our parents told us to do, or what a book we found at the library told us to do.
Hmm.
That's about it.
Yep. Tropical Fish Hobbyist. I read that magazine when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yep. And now I did notice at my Walmart, we had fish,
Hmm.
but remember, I was a kid back then,
Yeah.
so I didn't
Yep.
know anything about this.
Yep.
But yeah, it's kind of cool. Okay. Make sure I didn't miss anything. That was weird. Anyways, you got another one?
I'm switching over now
Ooh.
to a small list that I put together around, if I wanted to ensure that my fish were thriving, how would I go about doing that? And so I only thought about just a few things here. The first thing is consistency. And I mean that in a few different ways.
Okay.
I mean
Explain.
consistency from a process around, if you are doing water changes on a regular basis, right? I think we've talked about how your multi-tank largely doesn't seem to need water changes. You
No,
top off and they seem
stop
fine.
off. That's it.
For me, I'm usually an every 2 weeks water change, 50% in every aquarium, every 2 weeks type of thing. That's what works for me. My fish seem to like it. I go with it, and I keep it consistent.
Hmm.
I keep the source of the water as consistent as you can, right? So I'm
Hmm.
not
Right.
switching, I'm not mixing anything. it's our local tap water, which thankfully I'm lucky to live in a place where the tap water seems to be it's fairly neutral. It's very slightly hard. Really works for just about anything. Or when I'm thinking about the Tanganyikans, nothing I can't fix with like an aragonite sand, and that's the base I use for my Tanganyikan tanks, so that
Right.
naturally over time dissolves in the water, and it ends up it ends up keeping the pH and the hardness up where they would like it. And then for all of the other fish, they tend to be kind of that neutral type of water parameter anyways. And so for me, it's more about keeping consistent from a schedule perspective, continuing to do those roughly 50% water changes on the tank so that when they get a water change, it's 50% new water. That stays the same kind of ratio. And just making sure that I keep the temperature the same, and all of those. I think it's the
Hmm.
consistency in my mind, super important to make
Yes.
sure that we aren't changing so much that it's creating any kind of a stressful situation for the fish.
Hmm. So basically, if possible, keep your hands out of that aquarium much as possible.
Yeah, yeah. Well, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled into perfection,
Right.
right? Keep the quality as good as you possibly can, but don't be fooled into the pursuit of perfection, the pursuit of, oh my gosh, I've been keeping these fish for 6 months at pH 7.0, and in the wild, they would prefer 7.2. If they've
Right.
already been there for 6 months and they've been doing well, don't be lulled into this idea of, oh my gosh, I have to do something different. I have to change my process. I can remember being a kid keeping Tanganyikans, and I was fooled into that same situation. They had aragonite sand. The water was high pH, right? So it
Hmm.
was 8.2 or whatever, relatively hard. And I somehow read something in a magazine or a book that they needed it higher pH, and I bought one of those things that is the pH up adjuster.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
Not good in that
No.
scenario. Not to say that those things don't work, but 10 or 11-year-old Todd was not prepared for how you do that in a slow process. And I believe what I did is I took they come in like a disc.
Yep.
I threw the disc in the tank. No good.
Yeah. Yeah.
No good.
Yeah. That's
So,
something I wish I knew back when I started.
right.
And the fish store definitely didn't know what they're talking about,
No,
which
I
is kind of
think it
sad.
was one of those where if you didn't ask the question, they didn't say anything.
Right.
And 11-year-old me said, "Oh, well, I read it and people use this and it seemed like it worked. Great, let's do it." It's
Hmm.
slow dissolving, so in my head that sounded like a great. No, Nancy, 10-year-old Todd was definitely not a chemist. I don't think 43-year-old Todd is even a chemist.
But you definitely learn a lot of things since then, though.
Yeah. Oh, yes, yes. If I could go back, the things that I've learned now vibes and
Oh
do it
yeah,
over,
it'd be a
absolutely.
breeze.
It'd be a lot easier. The
Yeah.
mistakes that I made back then wouldn't happen,
Right.
right? So, I see Riva asked, "Do I keep a journal, a spreadsheet, or anything?"
Yeah.
Nothing super consistent, Riva. If I find something that's interesting that like when I think about like trying to figure out the secrets on breeding the white clouds, I have kept some things down because as I've refined the process and tried some different things and figured out what's worked, I've sort of went through a little bit of that journey. But I don't write down um like I don't write down like water test results. I'd make sure that they're where I think they should be and that they're staying consistent when I do tests, but nothing super consistent. That's probably not best practice, but that's kind of how I've been handling it.
Right. Now, yeah, I agree with you on that. Now, I do some notes here and there whenever something comes to mind, or but majority of what I do is almost maybe it's bad, but out of habit. It's a routine that I do
Hmm.
every week. So it's kind of out of habit, which probably in a way it's a good thing because
Hmm.
you less opportunity to forget it. But then again, it's a bad thing because you might forget it.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I think though it does. If you've done it long enough, it does become that routine, and that will help you with uh, the consistency that we're talking about.
I used to keep track. Then I lost the book and became successful. There you
Yeah. Yeah.
go. True, true.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I was when I started, I was very into it, especially with my saltwater tank.
Hmm.
Every single day, I would test the temperature,
Hmm.
the perimeters every single day. Write it down.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, today it moved zero point 0.2 millimeter.
Mhm.
Something's wrong. What did I do wrong this time?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
hmm,
But when you're first starting out, I don't know about you, but I was intensely concerned about doing things properly.
right,
And that was the best way at that time that I knew how to try to make sure that I was doing things properly. It was a scientific, right? I'm
right.
using the term a little bit loosely, but it was a measure that I could go back to
Mm-hmm.
and I could keep some track of, and to try to make sure that I noticed any changes. Was there any pattern to when it changed? Did it change just once and then it was fine, or was it a routine thing that it would change? So yeah, early on, absolutely, I was
Yeah,
doing a lot of that kind of stuff, trying to make sure that any potential issue that could have either naturally happened or I could have created, that I was at least understanding it before it became a big problem.
right, right.
Right.
Welcome in, Night Owl
You
products.
know, Al.
Um, but you
Yeah,
know
Jeff.
what? Even
Yeah.
though we don't write stuff down anymore, we
Mhm.
still are writing stuff down in our brain.
Yeah, and I think you're comparing it to what you know to be kind
Yeah.
of the norm for your tank,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know what that is by now. You've done enough. You've done enough of those early checks to know, okay, it hovers kind of right around a pH of 7, 8, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And that gives you enough to go on to say, "Oh, wait a second, it's 6, 8. We got a big problem. Let's try and
Right.
figure out what's happening here."
True. Um, but the majority of tropical fish adjust them to your tap water perimeters.
Mhm.
Now, if
Yeah.
you have to do it slowly, do it slowly.
Mhm.
Do it 2 weeks, whatever it takes to adjust. But eventually, if possible, try to get to match your tap water. Because
Mhm.
in the long run, it'll be easier on you and the fish.
Bunch of small water changes.
Yep. Well, Grant Peplin, good to see you.
Hey, Brian, did you see that? Did you see Brian and Foxy had kind of an exciting couple days ago?
What I miss?
You missed. Foxy had put out on her channel. She put I think, a community post
Ooh.
that she, in her words, she asked Brian to be her penguin.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Did you see
Yes,
that? So
yes.
congratulations to them. Brian also had a birthday quite recently, so
Uh-huh.
happy birthday belated. I think I wished him happy birthday on YouTube as well, but again, happy birthday. Congratulations. All
Yes,
lots of cool stuff going on for them. I think that's amazing.
that's so awesome. However, I'm doing chemical water tests tonight and ready to eliminate all the 10-gallon tanks. Hmm.
And I'm ready to eliminate all the 10-gallon tanks. Is it because they are Are you having trouble with them, or are you just going to different sizes?
I
Just
think
trying to
like,
make sure I understand.
I feel like we have got so much negative vibes when we're nervous about fish. I feel like they pick up on those feelings and it makes them more nervous. Some of the best breeds are relaxed people.
Yeah. Well, and I think it goes a level beyond that too, outside into if you're nervous about it, you're probably messing with it. And
Right,
if you're
right.
messing with your aquarium, you naturally are having the potential of um right? You're naturally going to be potentially giving them more stress because you're messing with the aquarium in some way,
True.
changing
That's
something, or you've got your hands in the aquarium doing things, and uh, right? I think that's yeah. I think you've got something to it. I think there's multiple reasons why that could be going on.
yeah, I like this. So
Nona said it's because it's tedious, and she says she's lazy. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that the 10s are my toughest tanks to clean. I feel like I'm always a bull in the
yes.
china shop when I'm in the 10, right? I got the python in there. I usually got a hand in
Uh-huh.
there doing something. I'm fighting back plants. I mean, it's like I got combat going on,
Yes. I
right? Like
agree.
I'm like moving stuff around, and yeah, I can absolutely understand that.
Yeah. I do. That's funny. I got three Ting Dongs back there. That
Hmm.
I honest with you, I don't touch them much, any at all. I
Hmm.
top them off and feed them. That's it.
Yeah, you're talking about the one that's filled with Kool-Aid and
Yes. Hey,
right?
how'd you know?
I figured it out the first night when I saw them, all the colors, it was pretty easy. One's got,
Yeah.
like, Robitussin in it, one's like Kool-Aid, the other one's like
Uh-huh.
NyQuil.
Yes. Yes.
You said you were doing experiments.
Uh-huh. I mean, it. I'm honest with y'all. Those tanks and all tanks in my house, those probably thriving the best, which is kind of weird. Kind of, I'm not kind of weird, but maybe because I haven't touched them very much, and letting the inhabitants just do the thing, which is kind of unique.
Fish like to swim in Kool-Aid, who knew?
Yes. Hashtag Kool Aid.
You heard it here first on Vibes Aquatics.
Yeah. Now don't put it in the book that said, "Hey, a fish tuber said it, so it must be true." Better yet, a fish tuber said it, so it's gotta be true.
Mhm. This one's all
Nope.
you, man. I've got nothing to do with it.
Yes,
Uh,
we're happy for Roxanne. Exactly, we
we
are.
are extremely happy for both of them.
Yes,
Yep, yep, we are extremely happy.
that's a good question. Has anyone seen Sam recently?
No, where was I? I was up on Ed's stream Saturday. We played the freshwater fish tank game with him and Kenny and PNW Aqua Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we asked about Sam there too. No, haven't seen him.
Huh?
Hopefully just busy.
Yeah, hopefully. Now, I mean, I don't blame him if he wants to step away from the fish streaming thing. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I mean, if he monetize, not monetize, if it moderates a lot of fish streams,
Tons.
it might get old.
Hmm.
I won't blame him stepping away. I think he's active on Instagram. I keep
Instagram.
I keep in touch with him there. Cool. Thanks, Gaynona.
And Fathom says he talked to him the other day. He's still around. Okay, good.
Okay.
Good, good.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. You guys rock. Rocks. Anyways, moving on. You got any more of the topic quick?
I do.
Let's hear
Two
it.
more. Let's see. The other one is we've kind of talked about this, but I
Yeah.
felt it was important to highlight regular visual inspections. Take the time to go around, look at your aquarium. Again, we're making this very wide ranging for people who are at all different parts of their hobby. So For the person that's got the one aquarium at home and they're watching this on the replay, trying to do some research,
Mm-hmm.
it's important to sit in front of that aquarium, watch them. It's a great time is at feeding time. So you can see a lot of the things that we've covered tonight that should be present at feeding time. They should be active. They should have good color. They should be hungry. They should be growing over time period. So if you are from day to day sitting down, feeding the aquarium, taking just a minute or two just to kind of look everybody over, super super important, I think, to just take that time to really just take a look and see, do you notice anything, any of the signs of illness that hopefully based on our feedback tonight you've gone and
Right.
done some research on. Hint hint to anybody who is newer to all of this,
Yes.
to go back and do that. So I think visual inspection is really important. And then the
Yes.
other thing that I thought of is thoughtful introduction of new fish.
Amen.
And I mean that a couple of different ways, right? Vibes, right? So I think that thoughtful introduction from how do you set up the aquarium, right? So how do you decide to stock it? It's really important to think about uh, the fish, their temperaments, and lots of fish can go together in what we would consider a community. I have a community aquarium myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's important to think about how do you set that up and what is the order of the fish that you're going to put in there to make sure that those that maybe are a little bit more timid have the time to get set up before you add in the more boisterous types of fish. I also think it extends, and we've talked a little bit about this, I think, on a prior stream around new fish decisions around quarantining or your
Yes.
source for fish. Do they do their own quarantine? And just being really thoughtful around making sure that you are limiting the risk that you're putting your fish under by adding fish carelessly,
Right.
because that's a source of stress. It's also potentially a source of adding some of those illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to limit all of those things, because that's an area where fish could get picked on, could, stop eating, or, have other kinds of issues. And it's really, I think those are some really important things that, as I think about how to try and ensure that my fish are doing really well and thriving, those are kind of the ways that I would work and that I do work to to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can to try and make that happen.
Yes.
Anything you
Um,
think I missed? I'm sure there's lots.
and the main thing in all this topic thing, um, be patient.
Hmm.
And like someone commented earlier about being relaxed, that's a good point. I never
Yep.
even thought about it. Okay, I've done it.
Yep.
I'm relaxed, but
Yep.
I never thought about it to that point.
Hmm.
Which that is good. If you're relaxed, you're more apt to do research, take a lot of patience, and doing something. It could change it to a quim or whatever. But yeah, the visual aspect is a big thing, and that's why if you watch your tanks regularly,
Hmm.
every day if possible,
Hmm.
spend an hour. If you're a fish keeper, I mean, of course you want to spend an hour. An hour ain't hard to spend in front of your tank. That's not hard at all.
Hmm.
But spend time and just watch, observe.
Yeah, I have my nightly routine.
Yeah. Now, for those who don't know, this is what I sit in evenings a lot. And my Fentosa is right beside me. One of my favorite ones.
Yep.
So, and there's usually some bickering here and there, which is that's a normal thing.
Hmm.
If they ain't
Yep.
bickering, like something's wrong.
Hmm.
So just observe, just watch. Yes, Roxy.
Yep.
Spend time with fish every day.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's my nighttime routine. I go
Yep.
from tank to tank, take a look, give them some food, just make sure everybody's doing what I expect them to do, make sure the colors look good, the fins look good, all the things we've talked about tonight. And it takes me 6, 7 aquariums. It probably takes me 15 minutes.
Right.
Right. I spend a couple of minutes at each aquarium and that's it.
What about Vibes when he has 26 aquariums? It takes
So
him 3/4 hour or what?
probably takes you a good hour. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, some of these tanks I see all the time. So those I'm not as diligent because as diligent as sitting in front of the tank for too long because I do anyways. So I'm really
Mhm.
observing it when I'm watching the live stream, when I'm on a live stream, when I'm eating, snacking, watching a movie. I'm watching it the whole time, so I'm not really taking time out of my day to go watch that tank, because I'm gonna watch that tank. The ones that I
Mhm.
do it on, the ones that I don't watch regularly.
Mhm.
I got sitting here. There is like 7 tanks that I can watch regularly.
Mhm.
They're in my vision regularly. So I love going around in the morning and telling every fish good morning. Yes, Roxy, exactly. Hey, for a while there, I was doing that. I thought, am I weird? Am I just the only person who does this? Gets up, says, tells these species in a glass box good morning. It's
The
good to know that
crazy
I'm the only one.
No, the crazy part, Vibes, is I can in my head I hear her saying that.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's if I was a fish, I'd love it. It's very soothing. I think I uh, I had the opportunity to meet. Well, you did as well. Meet her
Yes,
and Brian at the Clash, and
she's so sweet.
she's such a wonderful person. Brian's a great guy
Uh,
too, and I
yes,
mean we've got many in this community, but I just she's got a big heart, and so I
yes.
think if I was a fish, I'd love having the ability to hear her say, good
Oh,
morning.
good morning.
It's very nice.
I'm so exciting. Welcome back, Rachel. We missed you. Ah, yes, Getty. I count my fish, and if I don't find one, I start checking the floor.
Mm.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling. Am I the only one, or always do this? When you're breeding fish, do you count your fish that you're breeding?
Like
'Cause
the babies?
the babies.
Yes,
I don't.
I do.
Oops, sorry.
Well, I don't know that it's the right thing to do because then you get into this whole thing of like they move so fast as they get older.
Yes.
Was it 7 or was it 8? And then I'm going, crap, I think it was 8 yesterday. Now I think I only count 7. And then they move again and
He was eight now. Was that 9?
it's
6 of
it's
them.
a never ending. So I don't know that I advocate for that, but that's where my head goes is I just
Right.
start counting.
Now, of course, my rainbows, my
Mhm.
phantosas, um, my saltwater tank, my killifish, some of those, my peacock tank, those, yeah, I count those because I know how many are in there. And now it's like, what? There's an extra one. It's probably a baby, so
Mhm.
I can see it. But even my loaches, the clown loaches, there's like 6 of them. So, like that, yeah, I understand. But when they're like babies, oh, you just like, oh, that group looks bigger today than it was yesterday.
Yep.
That's kind of how I base it on. Okay, good. So I'm not the only one then. Okay, I
Mm-mm.
thought maybe.
No, I'm sure. Nope. Alex said loving the stream.
Oh, thanks,
Thanks,
Alex.
Alex. Hope you're on the mend.
Honey, you should count my fish every day too.
I think later she come back and she said, haha, she does.
Okay. Whoops. Not until the syllables. Hey, that's a good point.
Fair enough.
Yeah, good point. With eggs guys lay 100 eggs, good luck, though. True, true.
Hmm.
Fish Easy takes a picture of the tank and then counts.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's a, taking a picture is a good idea. Or even take a video
Yeah.
and then take a video and then stop it and then
Yep.
scroll through it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have all these pictures stocked up. So you can yeah. I like the idea. Say if for some reason you think there's a fish missing, take a video of your tank and then we watch it. You can see if there's any missing.
Man, that's gonna be really good for my my nerves around this to be able to try that as a technique. Take a picture so that I can count, as opposed to trying to go around the tank and do this. And as they're moving around, is it 9? Is it 8? Is it 10? Oh my god! Like it's a daily thing for me. So that's an excellent tip.
Hey Alex, by the way, prayers for you. Speedy recovery. Relax, take it easy, bro. And we can't wait to have you back in full health condition.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, Rachel. Yeah, if you take a picture of it, a tank or video of it, and play it in slow motion or play in pictures, whatever. Yeah, you can catch them. Okay. Hey, welcome, Alex. You're welcome. Yeah, everyone. You'll think about it. Do a prayer for Alex, Parliament Aquatics, and while you're at it, pray for our co-host Mariah. And hey, I know we don't say this, but hey, if you have prayers, if you want to pray for, put it in the chat, and we can let everyone know about it. And this is from now on. If you need to pray for your family member or whatever, let us know. Well, I want this to be a place that everyone's welcome, and well, I know some people don't like I say it, but one big family. You know what I'm saying? But yes, strength and healing to you, Fallon. Amen.
Hmm. Outside In says they've gotten their best pictures by screenshotting their videos. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I've done the same thing.
Okay.
Now, those pictures are not going to be photography competition worthy. Or the ones
No?
I've done. No, no, because they have grain in them. They're grainy.
Okay.
Um,
Because of the
That-
motion.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying you can't win a competition by doing it,
Hmm.
but you're gonna have a harder time, you know. But that's just a side note.
Got it. Okay.
Some of the best pictures taken of fish are still shots. You know, when you have your camera set up and at the aquarium and wait for the right second.
Hmm. Oh, Jeff says those pictures work for selling fish, though.
Yes, they do. Okay. Is that why none of my fish have that play on the but hit play? Hey, stop now! I want to see you.
That, yeah.
Right,
Unfortunate. Wrong type of fish, Rava.
right. Sorry. So, what would you say is the highlight of the tonight's live stream?
What do I think is the highlight?
Yeah, but that way those watch the replay, if they make it to this point, they could, you know, yeah.
For me, the highlight is the same things, and I think it's two. I think it's the fact that we get the opportunity to do this every Thursday. You know, we're missing one of our friends tonight. You know, Mariah's not here chatting
Yeah.
with us, and she, you know, certainly brings her perspectives, which I think, you know, all three of us bring a different perspective, and so we're missing that. But I just love having this opportunity to get on here and chat with you and kind of debate some of these topics and things like that. And I also really feel like the highlight is this community of folks that come back every week. I think this
Yeah.
was this our individual number 30 show tonight, Vibes?
Let's
Did
see.
you
Yeah.
it is number 30. Is that
Sorry. Yeah.
30 that we've done since we started doing this as a group of 3? The
That's good.
Thursday night vibes. I don't
You
know
know what?
when you
Since you
named it,
asked, I'm gonna go look it up.
right? Because it in 30 episodes, if that's the truth, that we've done 30 episodes since, what was it, October or something like that, we started doing this. We've got just this great group of folks that comes here every week, and I really enjoy the comments, the questions, the lighthearted attitude that people bring. I just think it's great stuff. So for anybody who's watching the replay, hopefully that's the type of environment that you like to be in, and you'll continue with us. We understand if you can't be here live, but certainly when you have the opportunity, we'd welcome you live. And if you just want to watch the replays, you're obviously more than welcome to do that as well. But for me, those are the two highlights every week, I think, is
Mhm.
being able to chat and then having everybody else with us.
Okay. You know what? Since you asked, I have to go back and check this out. I can't remember.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when you had started calling it Thursday Night Vibes, if that was when we started doing it as a group, or if you had been calling it that for a long time.
Um, no, Thursday Night Live, number 987. Okay, we started calling. Okay, I started calling it Thursday Night Live on on number 7 live stream.
Thursday Night Live was number 7.
Uh, number 7 is what? Yeah.
Okay, so
When
you
you got
changed the
named.
name of the show, but you were seven Thursday nights in.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Which we had Gina up as a guest.
Yep.
Filtration choices before that.
Mm-hmm.
Tank Crash.
Yep.
Keystone wrap up.
Yep.
And then it was a Smoky Fish Vibes.
So that was before my time.
Yeah. And then it was Plants versus No Plants.
Got it.
And then it switched back to Nirvana.
Yep. Okay.
Wow.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. Thank you, TJ. I didn't think about. I had to go back in history.
Yep. I saw the 30, and I was like, wow, that to me, that's a pretty big milestone.
Okay. It's. Did I see any chats while I was gone?
No, we got a bunch of talking about shipping weather starting up for our folks up in the cold, wintry north.
Yes, Jeff, I do. I agree with you. I miss her as well, Nirvana. I don't know the future. Hopefully, maybe once everything settles down. If those that don't know, she just got recently married. Was it last fall? December?
Sounds about right.
I can't remember even. But anyways, she has been posting regularly on Facebook. Pictures of the wedding, all that. It's kind of cool. See it all happen. And I do communicate with her regularly, so she's doing okay.
Good.
Yeah. Maybe someday we can bring her back for a video.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I see her occasionally in co-op stream and Fish Story. Yep, there you go. I miss Shanna. I miss Mary Page. Yes. Hey, we got time. Is anybody live right now besides us?
Ed said he could not go live tonight, and I think Skipper said basically the same thing. Well, we got Garcia is live.
Okay.
Let's see, when did he go live? Started a full hour ago, so he's been going kind of
Okay.
over our time. So it's not like we're
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
in the middle of it.
Okay, back to the chat. We got a little bit extra time, y'all. So, yeah, I agree. There's a lot of fish community or fish fam that we haven't seen in a long time. The list can go on and on and on. But hopefully someday some of these that we missed will come back. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, people sometimes need to focus on some other things for a while and end up getting wrapped up in other parts of life. And I think the main thing is just hopefully it's for good things, right? Hopefully things are exciting and they're doing some new stuff. We know that's not always the case, unfortunately, but
right.
hopefully for folks they're doing things in other parts of their lives that are what they need to focus on right now, and that when they're ready, they'll come back and kind of get re-engaged with us. That's my hope.
Mm-hmm. And also, those in the chat or those watch the replay, if you think of something that you want us to talk about on a Thursday Night Live, or even Saturday Night Live stream, whatever, comment below the video, because that might get put in for a topic for future live stream.
Yeah, we're certainly willing to take suggestions.
Yes,
For sure.
I definitely need to focus on other things. Yeah, Jeff. Right.
Oh,
Okay.
did you
What?
see that?
What?
Got a $2 super sticker from Foxy.
Foxy. What? Thank you. Aww. Now, I like that little kitty. Is that a kitty?
Is it the little fox kitty thing?
The big grin.
Yeah.
That reminds me so much of Foxy. Thank you, Foxy, so much. Now, I don't have a video to play back for you tonight, but I did got my big grin. Hopefully that covers it. Thank you so much.
Oh, we've got another call here for a tank tour. We've had a few calls for tank tours these last few streams.
Ooh, Jeff. Yeah. Maybe once we get enough of those coming in, that might just happen, y'all.
Rachel said she's going to be pretty busy soon and won't be able to make as many streams. Rachel, to the extent you want to talk about it, hopefully it's good things going on for you.
Yeah, hopefully. And Rachel, hey, you got my number. If you talk to someone, call me, text me. Yeah. Like I said earlier, don't call me in the middle of the night. If you do, hopefully, hey, I know you well enough. If you call me in the middle of the night, I know it's an emergency. So, yeah, go ahead and call me if you have to. And that applies to anyone. I have my number. If it's an emergency, call me in the middle of the night. Anyway, that applies to you, TJ, you know?
Me too.
Yep. If it's that important, yeah,
Yep.
Go ahead and call me.
Thank you.
I might not be happy about it, but hey, it was important.
Mm-hmm.
All good things. My kiddo just started volleyball 2 days per week, and she starts swim lessons Monday. It should be another 2 days per week. Also, Girl Scouts. Girl Scouts! Woo!
Oh, Rachel, that is good stuff.
That's
Volleyball,
good stuff.
swim lessons, and Girl Scouts. Nice.
That's good stuff, Rachel.
That's really good stuff.
So, don't be sorry about not making a lot of streams. And don't even be sorry if you can't make it to my stream. No. Do what's important.
We'll be here when you get back. That's no big deal.
We are
Daughter's
all
got to
the
come
cookies
first
ready.
for sure.
We are all the cookies ready, Rachel. Ah. She'll be 9 in a few weeks. Sweet.
9. Okay.
Steven says, okay, I'll allow it.
Yeah, Steven, though, I don't know if you were like me, kind of towards that age, teenager, but once I started playing the saxophone, it felt like I was in every type of uh, of school band option that existed. I think I was in the symphonic band, I did the wind ensemble, I was in the jazz band. I usually played in the band that played for like the musicals for the school. It seemed like it was definitely not just, hey, one band. I ended up being in all of them. And so the extracurriculars, which I had a blast doing, but you're right. As I sit here and think about it, I was like, how the heck did I do all do any of my schoolwork when I was doing all that stuff? But somehow.
Happy early birthday. Amen. I agree. That's sweet. Hey, good. I got a question for you, Rachel, by the way. Is your 9-year-old as much into fish as you are?
Oh, that's a good question.
And does she have her own personal tank as well? Now, hey, I'll let you answer that. How about that? Instead of me talking about it. She's trying to keep her out of trouble. Yeah. Boots, your evenings are gone for the next 9 years. Enjoy them as much as you can. Yes. Because you're going to look back on them and wondering where they go.
Hmm.
She needs the interaction with other kids since she's an only child. It's hard to keep up with the energy.
Sure.
Hey, Rachel, that's awesome. Yes, I agree with
Yep.
you 100%. She does need interaction with other kids. Yes.
Yep. Steven did marching band, symphonic band, the orchestra, jazz band, all the district, and small ensemble. Yep. Yeah, I'm right there with you. It was, band was one of our regular periods, and then all the others were sort of after school types of activities. So somehow we made it all work.
Woo!
She was working in an aquarium when she grows up. Nice.
This is awesome. I thought that's what you told me a while back, but I wanted to. I didn't want to speak out of line. That's awesome. And the information that she has today will keep getting easier and easier to find. So yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But wait, Steven, the theater department needs volunteers for the musical.
Yep.
I like to work at a aquarium when I grow up, but I don't know when that will be. You mean when you'll grow up, or when you work at an aquarium?
I think that's what he means, and I would say don't rush it.
Sorry, Alex, I had to. Yes, outside aquatics. And make sure your kids do extra. Because yes.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get extra credit.
Steven says in school it was band, and then a large group or a large cluster of subjects he wasn't interested in.
Isn't that normal though?
I was really, up until probably very late in high school, I was a terrible student. I remember 3rd grade, they assigned us, so the teacher, Mrs. Beers, she assigned us to read over I think it was roughly a 10 or a 12-week marking period, 10 books. So basically one a week.
Mm-hmm.
How many books do you think I read in that marking period, Vibes?
Woo! 200?
0.
What?
Didn't read a single one. 3rd grade.
Uh
Didn't read a single book.
oh.
And my parents went to like the parent teacher night, and Mrs. Beers told my parents what had happened. I wasn't super interested. I could pass the
No.
tests good enough to pass. I never got held back in a grade or anything like that, but it was late high school going into college before I really started to figure out I got to take this pretty seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a while, and thankfully it didn't. I didn't let it get to a point where it really held me back. I've been reasonably successful as an adult, and but I can relate to just wasn't something that I really naturally was like, yeah, let me go do this.
True. Yeah. Hockey, swim team, lacrosse, soccer, gymnastics, figure skating, basketball, track and field, tennis, figure skating. Woo!
And football, she said.
And wow. Just reading them is tiring me out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Alex. One day I'll grow up. Yeah. Hey, Alex, I'm in the same boat. Actually, no, we're in different boats, but we're headed the same direction. Scotty Fish Week. I want to work out an aquarium when I grow up too. Oh, I'm right there. No. Right, Scotty.
Oh, I like MS Aquascaping. Says football and has what we would consider a soccer ball. So that's a good reminder that football in other parts of the world is very different than how we think about it here in America.
Yes. Thank you, MS Aquascaping. That's awesome. That's when I started taking it seriously too. But I love reading. It was always a math teachers and handwriting coaches saying, "You're not meeting your potential. You're a smart kid. Do better." Yes. I wonder how many adults today the teacher told them that same thing.
Mm.
You're not meeting your potential. You're a smart kid. Do better.
And for me, I'm not a reader. Like I still to this day, like magazines. I think Steven and I are kind of alike in that way where I've got enough time in my brain to read an article in a magazine, and that's about it. Like a couple
Right.
hundred pages, I don't care what the subject is necessarily, it bores me to tears.
Yes. You're
It's
too smart
just
to handle these sort of grades. That's right, man. Okay. Um, Before we go too much longer,
hmm
I mean, I did it. I enjoyed this, but we can't hold TJ in long this because otherwise he's gonna get kind of grouchy. We can't have that.
Who, me? Grouchy?
Yeah.
What?
No, actually, I'll be honest with y'all. I'm getting hungry. I have not eaten supper yet or dinner.
Oh,
Whatever you call it.
fair enough.
So,
Fair enough. And we're 2
wait,
hours
2 hours.
in.
Yeah. So we're half an hour over normal. So
Yep.
hopefully y'all enjoyed this special. Um, Now we have been talking about it backstage, I guess, about trying to figure out an extra, like it's going to be named differently, but extra live stream, I guess, occasionally. So with maybe some of us co-hosts, and yeah. So stay tuned for that. That's
More to
an
come on that
secret, I guess.
topic.
Yeah. Vibes needs cottage cheese moment of the day. Since you mentioned it, I think I just ran out last night.
Oh no, calcium deficiency vibes. This is just
Oh,
serious. This is a serious issue.
yeah.
You need like a vitamin.
Yes. Oh wow. Okay. Anyways, before we head out, TJ, you
Yeah.
got something to say to the community, fish fam, to the Vibe fam?
Thanks for being here. Had a lot of fun. I enjoyed. Like I said, we kind of meandered all over the place tonight, so hopefully everybody liked that. But I just enjoyed all the topics that we kind of covered and questions and comments and vibes, buddy. Thanks for another fun Thursday. Highlights of my week are the Thursdays, and so thanks for setting up another one for us.
I agree. That if you grab a snack before signing off, that's another bingo square.
Oh, do you have a
Nancy,
snack around you?
Nancy, you're pushing a little. Hey, I did hear. I was watching Stephen P's live stream something about you're not really supposed to be trying to get the live streamers to do this for you. So, no, that's good. That's actually good though. Anyways, if you make this fun, we play cool, y'all. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for watching it. Hopefully you enjoy this kind of stuff. If you do, subscribe, share it out. Actually, no, don't do that at all. Just go to bed, y'all.
What?
Anyways,
No, that's not how this goes. No.
anyways, thanks TJ for being my co-host tonight. And hey, Mariah, if you're watching this or watching replay, we love you. Thank you.
And we miss you. We'll see you next
Yeah.
week. That's the plan.
That is the plan. Until then, you have a wonderful weekend and a great night, y'all. Till then, bye. Peace out. Wow, good stuff.